There are three famous tales of revenge in Japanese history, but the one known worldwide is the story of the 47 Ronin, or masterless samurai. The event is celebrated as December 14th, 1702, and remembers when 47 masterless samurai of the late Lord Asano took revenge against Lord Kira, a high-ranking official of Tokugawa Tsuneyoshi, the 5th Tokugawa shogun. But a little background first. Lord Asano was lord of Ako Domain, a minor province that is part of what is now Hyogo Prefecture. Lord Asano and another daimyo, Lord Kame, have been ordered to arrange a reception at Edo Castle for representatives of Emperor Higashiyama. As imperial receptions have a huge number of requirements, Lord Kira was supposed to instruct Lords Asano and Kame in what they needed to do. However, Lord Kira would only do so for a price. As neither daimyo would pay a bribe, Lord Kira belittled both men. Incensed, Lord Kame told his advisors of his plans to kill Lord Kira. This would have gotten them all killed, as drawing a weapon in the shogun's palace was punishable by death. So, Lord Kame's advisors secretly paid Lord Kira 1,100 ounces of silver. Lord Kira stopped belittling Lord Kame, but continued his focus on Lord Asano. Eventually it got to Lord Asano, and he drew his short sword and attacked Lord Kira. It is not known what comment finally provoked Lord Asano to attack. Some sources say that Lord Kira told Asano that he was a country boor with no manners. A source I read a few decades ago, and unfortunately I cannot find, suggested that Lord Kira said to Asano, "Hey, if you're so stingy with your money, I hear you have a pretty wife." Kira survived the attack, but for the offense of drawing a weapon in the shogun's palace, Lord Asano was ordered to commit ritual suicide. His family was dispossessed of their domain, and his samurai were declared Ronin. And making things more unbearable, revenge had long been part of the samurai code, but the government ordered that no revenge be taken. Enter Lord Asano's top advisor, Oishi Kuranosuke. Despite being forbidden from revenge, 47 of Lord Asano's retainers, led by Oishi, vowed to seek revenge anyway. The challenge was that Lord Kira knew that revenge was forthcoming. Oishi's plan was to make Lord Kira think that the samurai had given up. The men dispersed, taking on menial jobs. Oishi himself moved to Kyoto and sullied his reputation. He did things like attend kabuki, which was seen as low class back then. He was frequently seen drunk in public and frequenting geisha. He even divorced his wife and took up with a geisha. A samurai from southern Japan was reported as being so disgusted by Oishi's actions that when he found him drunk and passed out on the ground, he kicked him in the face and berated him. But after around a year and a half of subterfuge, the men met again in Tokyo to finally take revenge. Some of the men had even used their time as tradesmen to learn about the layout of Lord Kira's residence. So on an early snowy morning, in the middle of the 12th month of the 15th year of Genroku, the Ronin attacked Kira's residence, with Oishi leading the attack at the front and his son leading the attack at the back. They wore homemade armor, as it would have raised suspicion to actually buy it. They put archers at the top of the walls to prevent anyone from seeking help, and told the neighbors what was going on. Lord Kira was eventually found in a storage shed used for charcoal. They identified him by the scar on his face, a remnant of the attack by Lord Asano. They offered him a chance to commit suicide honorably, with Oishi offering to serve as his second. But when he refused, they cut off his head, using the same sword that Lord Asano had used to take his own life. They then doused the fires and candles in the residence to prevent the place from catching fire and spreading. Revenge was complete, but the story was not. The thing that remained for the 47 Ronin was to follow the requirements of their hearts and society. Miraculously, all of them survived the attack. One man was sent to Ako Domain to spread the news to Lord Asano's family and to the other retainers. The remaining 46 began the roughly 10-kilometer walk to Sengakuji, the temple where Lord Asano was buried. News of the attack had already spread through Edo, the old name for Tokyo. People lined up and cheered them as they passed. Some people even offered the men rest and refreshments. Upon reaching the temple, the men washed Lord Kira's head in a nearby well, then presented both head and sword at Lord Asano's grave. They offered prayers and incense, and then gave Kira's head to the temple priests. Once this was completed, they went to the authorities and turned themselves in. The shogunate was now in a quandary. The men had to be executed for defying the law, but their actions had created nationwide support. So Akko domain was restored to the Asano family, though at a reduced size, and the Ronin were allowed to commit ritual suicide. So on the appointed day, 46 of the Ronin took their own lives. Yes, you heard me right, 46. The messenger was pardoned. Upon his death, the messenger was buried with his fellow Ronin, and they are all buried at the temple near Lord Asano. But there are a lot of additions to the story. 1. To tamp down on potential revenge, the government tried to censor the details for decades. The event would be presented in various entertainment mediums with modified details. This is why many varying sources disagree. 2. Two of Lord Kira's friends went to the temple to reacquire Lord Kira's head. A signed receipt for the transaction is still in the possession of the temple. 3. A family member of Lord Kira's, either a grandson or a nephew, survived the attack. For his failure to die in battle, he was ordered to commit suicide once his wounds healed. Lastly, the samurai that kicked Oishi in the face in Kyoto visited Oishi's grave to beg forgiveness. He then committed suicide to atone for what he had done, and is also buried at the temple. If you like my Japanese history snippets, please follow, subscribe, like, and share my videos. And if you like stories set in medieval Japan, please check out my books. Thank you very much.